Welcome back, viewers. Thanks for staying with us here on this bulletin, wherein we are tracking closely the details of the Enforcement Directorate's questioning of Sonia Gandhi. Now, remember, today being day one of her questioning, and when earlier Sonia Gandhi had sought postponement of her summons, it was granted by the Enforcement Directorate, but finally she's appeared before the ED, currently inside the ED office where her questioning is underway. Parallelly, we're seeing a lot of visuals of protests coming from several parts of the country, including in the national capital, which, by the way, also saw protests take place inside the parliament premises. Now, both inside the parliament and outside, we saw Congress MPs raise placards and voice their opinion in favor of Sonia Gandhi. Those are the dramatic visuals that have been coming in non-stop since early this morning. But yes, we've also seen how in some places the protests have turned violent. We saw how some of those protests, as you can see on your screens, they're standing on those barricades. They could be seen jumping on those barricades after throwing them away. Some of them crossing over the barricades aggressively despite the police force trying to push them back. And we also very recently saw visuals coming from Bengaluru of how some of the Congress protesters there set a vehicle on fire. And on your screens, visuals from several parts of the country, in the national capital, inside and outside the parliament, in Patna, Mumbai, Hyderabad, Thiruvananthapuram and Bengaluru. People present in large numbers as questioning continues of Sonia Gandhi. Now, opposition has also sought VIP treatment. Let's quickly put out this tweet, viewers, and this is a shocking one because Yashwant Sinha now says, who's also, by the way, the opposition candidate for the 15th presidential elections, he says, and I quote, "I strongly condemn the attitude of Enforcement Directorate to humiliate political leaders. The officers of ED should have gone to her residence even if they had questions to ask of Sonia Gandhi." So that's the VIP treatment that the opposition is demanding, that the ED should have instead gone to Sonia Gandhi's residence. Now, that of course raises certain questions of why this VIP treatment should be granted to anybody. There are several leaders in the past belonging to different political outfits who have very well adhered to all of those summons. They have gone and appeared before the respective investigating agencies when they've been called by one. And here you have Yashwant Sinha now demanding that the ED should have in fact gone to Sonia Gandhi's residence if at all she needed to be questioned.
So the BJP likely to raise the issue as well. All this while, the opposition leaders, in fact, a joint statement had also been issued by the opposition leaders, by several parties in the opposition. Now, Yashwant Sinha crossing the line and saying so the ED officials should have gone to the residence of Sonia Gandhi. Mohit is joining us live with more details on this. Mohit, this is a kind of elitist attitude that is being displayed, asking for preferential treatment for Sonia Gandhi, saying the Enforcement Directorate officials should have instead gone to Sonia Gandhi's residence if at all they had any questions.
Well, you see, Yashwant Sinha is the opposition candidate for the presidential poll, and we know for a fact that how in the past also he has criticized the government, saying that the agencies are being used against the political opponents by the BJP. And today, when the Sonia Gandhi is appearing in front of ED with regards to the National Herald scam, Yashwant Sinha has come out and he has tweeted that instead of Sonia Gandhi being called over at ED's office, the officials should have come to Sonia Gandhi's residence. But that is not how the law takes place. He has been a minister in the cabinet, and he also needs to understand that how exactly the law takes its own course. You cannot have somebody who is accused of a fraud, ED officials going there, because ED officials will also match the statement which is being given by Sonia Gandhi with the statement of Rahul Gandhi. All the documents are being placed in front of Sonia Gandhi. So that all happens at an ED office. There is a protocol for everything. So a demand coming in from Yashwant Sinha, senior leader like Yashwant Sinha, is something that is not required at this particular moment, and it kind of gives you out a feel that the VVIP treatment that everybody talks about, that our politicians want, this is the same thing that Yashwant Sinha as of now is saying. Now remember, with the run-up to the presidential elections also, Yashwant Sinha has been very critical of the agencies, specifically the ED, IT and the CBI, saying that they are being used by the government and the BJP against the political opponent. In line with that, to criticize what is happening with Sonia Gandhi. Yashwant Sinha has made this statement. But yes, whenever a person is called at an ED office, there is a process of law that follows. The statement of Rahul Gandhi would be matched with Sonia Gandhi's answer. There is a list of questions that have been prepared by ED officials. But yes, ED officials, according to sources, have also said that if Sonia Gandhi doesn't feel well, she will be allowed to take rest or go back home, because remember, Sonia Gandhi is around 75 years of age, and she also recently suffered from COVID. So ED has given many relaxations to her, but this tweet of Sonia Gandhi will surely escalate the political fight, given the fact that how the BJP in the morning came out and said that if Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi have not done anything wrong, they should cooperate with the agencies instead of staging a dharna. So yes, this could also escalate into new political fight. We have to wait and watch how exactly
Stay on with us, Mohan.